Well, hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the cabin. It's August the 2nd. We made it to August. Weather's still hot though. There's been no let up in this heat, man. It's been just hot, 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 hot. So anyway, I've been working on a little. Refinishing project. So this is a little project that I've been doing. More on that in a minute. But this time of year, you know what? It's so hot, and the deer flies are at their absolute peak. They're just crazy. So not a lot you can do, not a lot you can do in the woods. So I just do little projects like this refinishing project, and I also got to mow the lawn. That's another thing I'm going to do tonight. Starting to cool off just a little bit right now. So once it gets cooled off a little more, I'll mow that lawn and have that done. Anyway, I just wanted to make a video here to let you guys know what's going on and some things that I got planned for August. And yeah, like I said, it's really quiet here this time of year. There's not a lot to do. It's kind of one of those times where, you know, you take it easy. It's what you do. But I got some things coming up. One thing I'm going to do, hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to do some work on the road. There's some road repair I want to do. If a buddy of mine is supposed to show up with his dump truck, he's going to haul some gravel from the pit, and we're going to kind of resurface some of the road on the top of the hill going down. It's kind of getting beat up and wore out quite bad. I want to get it done, but I mean, it's just, I think he's going to show up, but I'm not 100%. He said it depends on how he feels in the morning. He wasn't feeling good, so I said, yeah, fine, whatever. So it's not a problem. If you're feeling all right, we can do it, and if not, we'll do it another time. It's all good. So hopefully, I'm going to tackle that, and then it's family time. I'm going to do some family time with my little girl, and I think this year, I don't know what we'll do. I think we'll take a little trip down to Bangor and visit for a little bit and then come back up. And I did promise that we could go back to King's Landing, which is in New Brunswick. And I did a video on that early in the year. King's Landing is a historical village, and it's basically set in the mid 1800s, mid 1850ish. And it's how life was back then. It's a really cool place. And we were there in the late spring for the sugar bush, and we had a great time. But there were a lot of things that weren't operational, like the old sawmill and the the blacksmith, and you know, some other things like that. And it is really beautiful there along the St. John River. Oh, hang on, had to kill some mosquitoes here. So yeah, so those are some things that I want to get done, and then once it gets on in August, and hopefully starts to cool down a bit more. There's some more things I want to do. There's some more road work that needs to get done. I need to bush hog the road, and there's some problem trees that I need to take down before they come down. I don't want them to come down across the road in the winter in an ice storm or a bad snowstorm or something like that. And there's one real problem one. It's a popple tree, and it's a big tree, and I think it's all rotted out in the middle. Kind of a dangerous tree to kind of take down, because you never know what's going to happen once you start cutting into them. I decided to take a little walk, but man, as soon as you step away from the cabin, the deer flies are just brutal. Anyways, the other day I was watching a video from the Boss of the Swamp. I hope everybody knows who the boss is. Great channel. I enjoy his channel. And, you know, he was mentioning some things about his channel and how he all of a sudden has lost about, I think he said 50 or 55% of his revenue from his channel. Man, that's a hard hit. One thing I like about the boss is that he's honest, I think, and you know, he admits that he's doing YouTube for income. He relies on this to, as a source of income to live. And there's nothing wrong with that, and that's fine. And but boy, it makes me, when I hear things like that, it makes me think, I'm really glad I don't rely on this as a source of income. And I just do this part time. I consider myself a part time YouTuber, and I'm happy to be that. And I was thinking, that's another topic I might touch on as a video, as to why I like being a part time YouTuber, and explain how you actually make money on YouTube, and all the different variables that go into it, because there is a lot to it. And um, relying on something like that can just disappear, like that, or all of a sudden you lose half your income. I mean, that must be tough. Um, anyways, I think I can touch more on that in another video on that topic. So back to the project that I'm working on right now. One thing I want to do, I like doing these projects this time of year. I have a bunch of these little projects that I like to do, because when the weather's hot like this, you can't go down in the woods, you can't do anything else. So I like these little projects that I can do around the cabin. I don't have to, it's not too much physical work either in the heat. And this is one project that I've been wanting to tackle for a while. This is actually just the stock off of, it's actually off of a shotgun, but it wasn't originally a shotgun. Can anybody familiar with this design? This is actually off of a German 98. This one is from World War I. And so what happened with these things after World War I? They had a ton of the old 98 rifles left over in surplus after the First World War, and they needed to do something with them. And one company took a bunch, and they said, well, let's make shotguns out of them. And so what they did was they took the rifle, they cut down the stock, which is a shame, because they're very nice rifles, those 98s. And they made a few modifications to the bolt. They put on a different extractor, is actually what they did. They put on a different extractor. The rest of the bolt is untouched. And then they, of course, they rebarreled it and had to rechamber it to hold a shotgun round. And they did 12, 16, and 20 gauge. Now, these things are not super rare, but they're sort of rare. This is the first one I've got a hold of, and somebody actually gave it to me. And I think it smells like it was in a musty basement for about 20 years. It really stinks bad. And somewheres along the line as well, somebody actually spray painted the entire shotgun with black spray paint. The whole thing, the bolt, everything, every piece, it's just completely spray painted black. Oh, what a mess. Anyways, so somebody gave this to me and didn't want it anymore. Like I said, I think it was in their basement for 20 years. And I said, it's kind of a cool old piece, and it has a bit of history since it started off in WW1. And so I took it all apart, and the first thing I did was strip down the bolt. Oh man, what a job. It was completely stuck together from the spray paint. And I had a hard time breaking down that bolt, getting it all apart and cleaning all the old paint out of it. But I think I did a fairly good job. So that's the bolt out of it. And as you can see, they put a different extractor on it for 16 gauge. This one is 16 gauge. And yeah, I broke it down. I took it all apart, cleaned it all up. And just like new almost. Anyways, very nice. And the whole thing is all matching serial numbers, so that's nice. Now back to the stock. These stocks are actually made out of walnut. It's a beautiful hardwood, but again, it's been covered with black spray paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip this down, and I think that it's going to strip fairly easily. I think so, because it doesn't look like, the spray paint, um, soaked into the wood at all. I think it really just covered it. So I think that's gonna come off real easy. And I think once we get this stripped down, you're gonna see a real beautiful stock. Oh yes, I think that's gonna come off. It's already starting to come right off. Awesome. Oh yes, that's not gonna be too hard. Move that around. Hold still. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful walnut stalk. Yeah, it's going to be real nice once I get this all done. Well, that was probably one of the easiest stripping jobs I've ever done. And yeah, that walnut stalk is just beautiful. I mean, it's banged up a bit, but not too bad. Got to remember, it is World War One surplus, so it's bound to have been banged up a little bit. The only thing that's missing, unfortunately, are these little eyelets for the bolt breakdown tool, but that ain't no big deal, because I can get some of those and replace them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly sand this down. I'm not going to get to it tonight in this video, because I got some other things to do, and I'll call it quits here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly sand down the stock, and then I'll probably apply a couple of coats of boiled linseed oil to protect it, and that should be yeah, it's going to be real beautiful. And then I'll put it all back together. I do have to do a little more work on the barrel and some of the other parts to get all the paint off and get it cleaned up and polished. But yeah, other than that, I think it's going to look real nice when I'm done. Certainly better than when I started. Although I don't think I'll put too much into this. I mean, these things are rare, but they're not ultra rare, and they're not worth a lot of money. Even in mint condition, they're only worth a few $100. So it's they're not really a big deal. I'm just going to refinish this for fun. I might keep it, or I might sell it. I have no idea. I haven't decided yet. It's kind of a neat little piece, though, because like I said, you don't see them every day. As a matter of fact, if I didn't already mention, this is the first one I've managed to get a hold of. But yeah, anyways, just a project, just something to keep me busy. Well, there you have it, guys. Now you know what I'm up to and what I've been doing. And I'll try to have some more videos out soon. Like I said, hopefully tomorrow I can do some more road work and get the road coming in here fixed up a little bit. And in a few days I'll get into town. I'll upload this video, and when I finish that piece, when I get it refinished completely, I'll show you in another video, in a future video, show you the end result, and we'll even try it out, make sure it works. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're new, subscribe. Don't forget, you got to hit that little bell icon if you want to be notified of new videos. Definitely give me a thumbs up. I appreciate the support, and leave me some comments below. I love those comments, guys. Keep them coming, and we'll see you real soon back here at the cabin.